probably safely say nobody on this panel wants a rate increase. I would imagine that nobody wants a rate increase. I imagine if you really got a truthful answer from Georgia Power that they don't want a rate increase. There's a difference between want and need. But independency of this case, we've had a number of things that have been said and been done. It's interesting that AARP sends around a letter and a petition. And of course, they don't want a rate increase, but they didn't participate in the process, didn't intervene. And some would say, well, we can't afford to put a witness up or hire a lawyer or intervene. But they didn't even come to committees where anybody, any citizen, any group can come and petition this commission and make their piece. And yet they didn't do that. And even though part of this, a lot of this rate case is generated around the recovery of environmental costs that come out of Washington and the war on coal. And yet in many cases, it's their issues that they generate in Washington. The groups that participate and support that war on coal and encourage the Congress, encourage the EPA, encourage the President to do that, and then yet don't understand or choose not to understand why there's issues about recovery of cost. It's a little bit like supporting an increase in the minimum wage for fast food workers and then complaining that your cheeseburger went up $1 in price. And yet we see this today, that if they took their time and effort and resources to support 21st century coal, I'll dumb it down a little bit, clean coal technology, if they spent the time, effort, and resources for 21st century coal and trying to clean up our greatest resource in this nation, then perhaps we would be a little bit farther down the road toward energy independence. Yet they don't do that. And even though there is some technology today where new coal technology, clean coal technology, 21st coal technology can and does put less emissions into the air than a new natural gas plant. And I find that interesting, and yet nobody chooses to talk about that. So it's more of a need and a want than what we have today. I also find it remarkable, and we always hear from some groups that talk about that they're not allowed at the table about agreements and the proposed stipulation that we have in front of us today. But staff has done an extraordinary job, an unprecedented job of reaching out and resolving many of these issues that we have before us today. And they did represent many of these groups, and they had great gains, and that's what is a part of this stipulation today. And that's probably shown by the unprecedented number, the percentage of interveners signed on to this stipulation with only a couple of exceptions. And so I think that staff is due great credit for this and resolving a number of the issues. And even where some of the parties that did not sign had gains, had extraordinary wins, and I think Sierra even acknowledged that, and that staff did what was asked and what was requested, and the compliance filings will show the impact of these ECCRs, and what is actually being charged back to the company and to the ratepayers in this state. Again, thanks to staff, thanks to all the parties who participated, thanks for trying to make an impact to lessen the impact of this very important decision.